I'm Derek Martin, and this is Sean Bowers, GM of the San Diego Sockers. What is the most iconic moment you feel in Sockers history?
Wow, that's a deep one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably personally for me is seeing them win championships in the 80s. So when I was your age, I was watching the Julie V's and the Brian Twins and the Zoltan Toast win championships. So I don't know if there's one specific moment, but myself being part of a couple championships as a player, hopefully soon as a GM, right? I haven't won one yet. But I think it's really just having the combination of winning 14 championships. I mean, who else has really done that, especially in the city setting?
And your move towards like indoor soccer, probably the greatest moment is the 48 win streak. Were you a part of that?
I played in it.
You played in it?
I played in it, yeah, but mostly not. I was out doing something else at the time. But yeah, that was huge, iconically, in terms of, I mean, I don't think there's any other sports history, sports franchise that has won 40.
How do you feel like the fan base has changed from like the beginning of the Sockers to today?
I think that there was so much success at the start with the Sockers, starting in 1978, that it was easy to jump on the bandwagon, right? And then I think in 2005, which I was part of the team, it folded. And I think it left a lot of hurt people, and it took a lot to get it back. And then obviously not being in the arena, being down in Del Mar for a couple years, probably was something that wasn't conducive for us to getting in more and more fans. But now that we're back here, now what we just need to do is win a championship.
Yeah, because of the evolution of the deep end. I remember when I was like a little kid coming to the games, I don't remember seeing the deep end, but now I'm seeing it. Do you feel like they have like a change on the soccer culture today?
Yeah, I think it's something, that every club, whether it's in the EPL or Spanish League, you have some sort of supporting group, right? And I think with the deep end, they're such loyal supporters with what we do, and it's just getting bigger every year. Since I've been here for 3 years, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think the greatest part of it is in the fourth quarter when all the young kids go over and jump up and down and feel the passion that I think that lacks in the United States. When you go over to Europe or when you go over to Spain or when you go over to other places, just sitting in a game, watching an outdoor game, there's just so much passion that comes with it. And I think that's what the deep end kind of evolves with us.
As a GM, what do you think is like the most important part, like to have like a chemistry with the team, or like having the best players on the team? What do you think is most important?
For me, I'm all about chemistry. So it doesn't matter that you have the best players; you just have the right players. So everybody's not going to score goals. You need those role players that block shots. You need players that are defensive runners. So it's really about putting the right team together. And we've let some players go that have been, Toad's son, Chris Toad, is now in Ontario, one of the best goalies in the league. We let him go, and he wanted to go, and we did that because we thought it was best for the team, and we brought in Lee, and who's a goal scorer. So it's always about trying to have the right combination, right chemistry.
What is important, like, what do you guys do to help outreach in San Diego to the community?
We do a lot of things. We host a golf tournament. 100% proceeds go to LLS, Leukemia Society. We do a lot of charity events. We go out and we talk to a lot of kids in schools, say no to drugs kind of a thing, how to eat right. We're involved in the school system where we're going to even teachers and PE, and we're talking about things that we can do to be healthy. This day and age now, it's all about nutrition, right? Everybody doesn't exercise as much, but it's really what you put in your body. Being a health teacher, I have my master's in kinesiology. It's all about eating right, stop drinking soda, water, and those are the type of messages that we're trying to get out to the kids these days. Soda. Sorry, I drink it too much.
What do you feel like if you go to like the practices, what would we see? Like, obviously as fans, we don't see the practices as much. Is it like high intensity, or?
I think it's give and take. Sometimes you'll show up a day after a game, it's very relaxed, and guys, getting a sweat on and getting a good stretch. And then there's times where we kind of ramp it up, and what you see out there is what we do in practice, and you guys kind of getting into each other and being competitive. That's one of the things that professional athletes, hard for them to do, is turn things off. When you're competitive, you're competitive. That's why even outside of soccer, when you're going to play golf or you're playing cards or whatever it may be, we're very, I say we just because I played, you're very competitive.
Alright. Do you usually see former players come and watch the San Diego Sockers? Like, how does like the greatest players come support like their old team?
Yeah, I mean, all the time we have alumni that comes in the door. I just sat next to Christos dad, Zoli Toth, who's numbers in the rafters. Paul Wright's one of my best friends growing up when I was your age, and I were playing against each other. So they come in. There's a huge alumni base that we have for the San Diego Sockers because we've won so many championships that they still want to be connected to what we do. We host an alumni game, so they all play in that. So there's a really good. I think we have probably 60, 70, 80 that come back throughout the year that want to be connected to us.
What's your favorite part of your job?
Winning. I mean, really. I mean, I'm all about championships and winning as a player. I've won a few, but winning as a general manager and as an organization, I think just kind of adds a little bit to it. It's a culture, So no matter what you do, the things that we talk about, no matter what you do in your life, it's all about competing. It's all about winning, and that's what I love about it. I love to win.
Everybody loves to win.
Hate to lose, right?
Yeah.
You gotta hate to lose more than you like to win. That's what I tell you.
Here's a tough one. If you could change one thing about the Sockers, what would it be?
Wow, that's a pretty tough one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I love about our organization and what it brings. Maybe just Sockers per se, but even probably more with the league is just more exposure to what indoor soccer is about, right? And I think that when the first time you come in to see an indoor soccer game, you fall in love with it, right? There's not too many times someone comes to watch a game and then never come back. And especially with a high-scoring game, what was tonight, 7-4, 8, yeah, something like that. So, you get 12 goals. You watch a game on TV outdoor, you get a goal. Liverpool's my team; they won 1-0 the other day, right? So so it's really high impact. It's a lot of fun for the kids, a lot of entertainment for the kids. So that's probably what I would try to change. A little more exposure for not only us in the Sockers, but the league as a whole.
Definitely. Then what's your favorite part about the Sockers organization? I know you love winning, but and the chemistry with it.
Yeah, I think it's just the connection that we all have. I think over the last 3 years, we've built a very good player base, not only with our first team, but also with our second team. We built a very good coach base. Everybody's pretty interconnected. So for me, and then in the office staff, so I think that everybody goes to bat for each other. So it's really about a team on and off the field being interconnected.
All right, I think that's good.
Also, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen over the years with the organization, just as a whole?
Well, I can only speak really for when I played for the Sockers and now where I am now. And I would say now taking over the last 3 years, we're really more ingrained in the community than we've ever been. Being connected, I think that we lost our way before I got here, but we lost our way in the community. How many soccer kids play, right? Play soccer here, and 360,000 kids play soccer. That's not including adults. So we have a huge base that we can connect with, and we've done a better job with Presidio League president being connected to us now. So I grew up in San Diego. I went to Mira Mesa High School. I went to Miramar College. So for me, it's all about being interconnected in your community. Because there's still people out there that don't know the San Diego Sockers. There's still a lot of people hey, they're back. We didn't even know, right? So it's still about an outreach and how we can reach all of these players and parents and have them come to a game. Because we don't charge parking, free parking, right? It's $12 to get into a game. We're the I don't want to say cheapest, but in the sense of economically for a family of 4 or 5, you can come in for $60 and have a great time. You can't do that anywhere else. You can't do that with the Goals. You can't do that with the Cross. You can't do that. There's no more Chargers anymore. You can't do that with the Padres. So this is the place you can come and be entertained at the same time, right? And I would also say probably the second that is our players are very approachable. You can they'll run around the field, they'll sign autographs for you. They make themselves available to everybody that's in the arena, And so I think that's a huge thing too, because you go to other sports, they don't even give you the time of day, they just walk right off the field, So they're the best sellers of our game.
And how is the transition going from player to general manager?
It's good because I think that, for me as a player, I kind of think the same now as a general manager. So I see the perspective. I'm probably, sometimes I used to say you have player coaches. I'm probably a player general manager. I make sure the guys are set. I make sure that they get everything that they need to be successful. And then when they don't play well, then we can jump on them, right? Because they've gotten everything that they can. There's nothing that they need that we don't give them and provide them to be successful. But I really like creating the environment for everybody to be successful on and off the field. And I think that we do that as a whole as an organization.
All right, that's good. So I'm here with
Cheeky Luna.
Cheeky Luna,
Yeah.
Former player, and now what's your job?
Yeah, so I played with the Sockers 7 years. Retired 3 seasons ago. I moved on from being a player. Now I'm the director of player management, so I get to do the signing, trading, everything that has to do with players coming onto the club. That's what I get to handle.
All right. So, what is one of the most legendary parts of the soccer's history? Like greatest moment you can think of?
With the organization has a lot of great moments, right? I grew up in San Diego myself, so I grew up watching the team. I grew up with a lot of great players. I grew up watching, the Julie Lees, the names that the organization hears about all the time. Those are moments that hopefully we get back to one day. But those are certain periods of time that just happened. Everything just was right at the time. As I got going with the organization, I had a lot of great moments. I was involved with a few championships. That's been some of the best memories of my life, winning championships, being a part of a winning franchise. And now in the role that I'm in, watching the younger players come up, watching the players develop. I enjoy watching them on the field, but I think one of the biggest moments for me personally is watching a player develop in their personal life.
Yeah, one of the moments I grew up watching, like coming to soccer games, was that 48 win record. So as a player, you were probably during.
Yeah, I was a part of that winning streak, the 48 games. I don't know if I played all. I don't think I played all 48, but I probably played 45 of those 48 games. So that was very special. We just had the right chemistry. We had the right group in the locker room. The mentality was right. We knew going into every game we were going to win, and I think that just went a long way with that streak.
Yeah, so also involving with the fans, like I remember coming to the games guys like earlier in my life, there was no like deep end, but now we see like the deep end. So how do you feel like the fans been doing to help the Sockers out?
It's starting to grow. I wish and I hope that we get more and more fans out here. The soccer community, I think they would really enjoy coming out. If you haven't been out to a game yet, I think coming out, getting the kids to watch the game, and just for the fans to know that hey, there's a higher level in San Diego County. So it's good. It's something that needs to catch on more than what we're seeing right now.
All right. What's the culture like? What's the culture like around the soccer's locker room now? Like, what kind of atmosphere would you like see as a player or like as right now?
That's one of the things that I focus on the most. When I'm looking at players, sometimes the fans might see a certain trade, and they might look at me and I see the post like everybody else, and they say, why would you trade away that player and why would you bring in, it just sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? But you got to have the environment in the locker room. To me, I think if you're going to have a championship team, if you're going to be a winning team, the locker room environment, the chemistry in the locker room is the first thing I look at. Obviously, good players, you got to have great players out on the field, but I think besides being a great player, if you're not a good teammate, if you're not good in the locker room, you're not going to be with the soccer's organization.
What are like probably the greatest players or your favorite teammates when you were playing?
Oh man, I learned a lot from a lot of the veterans when I was playing. One of the guys that took me under his wing and really taught me a lot about the game is Paul Wright. When I was coming up, the guy, he was so smart. He knows everything about the game. So Paul Wright, I learned a lot from. Nate Hetherington was another one of the veterans when I was coming up, and same thing, they taught me a lot about the game. Aaron Susi is another one. He was around for a big chunk of my playing career, and Susi was a winner. I learned from him. I learned the mentality, how to finish off a game, how to finish off championships, and he was a winner. Of course, I played a lot with Craig Childs, and I've never seen anybody finish like he does. So that was very special as well.
what is kind of like the mentality of practices? Because like as fans, we usually don't see like the practices that much. Like, is it like a fast-paced, like go hard mentality, or is it like?
Yeah, our team is very deep right now. So practice sometimes gets a little bit more intense than the game today, for example. I sat there at halftime and I told the guys, hey, my only words to them, it was that, the intensity, it wasn't there. At practice, it gets very intense, it's very competitive, especially when, the guys don't know the lineup and we're training and they're trying to earn a spot. So the intensity's there. You have, we want guys that want to win every practice. If you're a player that goes out and practice and you don't really care whether you win or lose at practice, you probably won't see the field on the weekend because you've got to have that mentality.
What is your favorite part of your job?
I like working with the guys. I like mentoring the younger guys. I call them kids. Because in their personal life, a lot of the guys are just coming up, and I like to share my experiences, not only on the field, but off the field. And that's what I enjoy the most, being able to be a part of some of these guys' lives, from them, and not only give them advice, what they're doing on the field or how they can improve to be a better player, but if somebody leaves this organization and they became a better person, just grew up a little bit, matured a little bit, and I had a little seed in there. I think that goes a long way for me.
All right, and I think, is there anything else?
Sean, go ahead and jump in.
What's the biggest thing you've seen? What's the biggest thing you've seen change over the years with soccer?
In the 80s, when I was growing up watching as a kid, there was no MLS back in the day. So that's how the Sockers in the 80s became this big franchise. That's how we had some of the biggest players, not only in the U.S., but in the world. You're talking about Julie B, Dana, you're talking about Zoli, you're talking about Hugo Perez, Hugo Sanchez wore the jersey. There is so many big names in the 80s that were playing, and these guys were playing World Cups. It wasn't just guys that were big players in the U.S. A lot of these guys were foreigners coming to play for the Sockers, and they had just gotten done playing a World Cup, or they would play the Sockers and then go and play a World Cup. So the 80s was something special. Then the 90s came around, and that's where we saw the growth of MLS, right? So you're seeing a lot of the top players go into MLS environments. They're playing professionally in the MLS. So now we're trying to develop our own niche. Now we're trying to get top tier players, but at the same time we're competing with the MLS. So now you're trying to build something. And right now that's where indoor soccer stands. We understand that the MLS has first picks at everything, and then we're trying to build around that, and that's why you're seeing a lot of foreigners, a lot of futsal players. On our team, we have a lot of guys that are former futsal, pros. Leo Oliveira, he's a forward of ours, and he is a futsal player for the Brazilian national team. So we have a lot of guys from Mexico. Same thing, they're futsal players or they're indoor soccer players. So right now, the way it's just developing, we're trying to grow. We're trying to be more and more professional as the league grows. The organization is getting there. So I think we're still a few years away from knowing if this is going to be a project that's going to really explode like it was back in the day.
Final question. What does the San Diego Sockers do to help outreach in San Diego? Like, what kind of community service do you guys do?
Yeah, we have players. It's very important for us, the players, to get out. They go out and talk to schools. We do a lot of clinics, a lot of health, wellness, working with little kids. It's important to get the name out, just to let people know in the community that we're here. The players aren't making, $1 million like the Padres do. So for us to get out and just share with the community that we're here for the right reasons, we're playing soccer for the right reasons. It's nothing, they're not they're not here for the wrong reasons. So you know, there's a lot of fundraiser opportunities. That's something that we do very well. We donate a lot of tickets, able to give organizations fundraiser opportunity as well.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
All right, bud. Thanks.